This is Hermanos FC, and this is the post Champions League after show talk chat. And the games that just were on were Arsenal versus Bayern Munich and Real Madrid versus Man City. Let's start with Arsenal Bayern Munich. But Bukayo Saka scored in the 12th. Leonardo Trossard scored in the 76th, and Serge Gnabry scored in the 18th, and Harry Kane scored in the 32nd on penalties. The end score was 2-2. It was really nice to see Harry Kane score in their house on a pen. He took it real smooth, unlike how he normally takes a penalty kick.
Fast and strong.
Yeah, he usually just like whips it into the net. What did you think of the game? I know we had thoughts while we were watching it, but tell me like your immediate kind of after the game thoughts, and obviously to the second leg.
I mean, being honest here, I definitely thought Arsenal blew it because their run of form, even in the season, they should they should have beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's Champions League, so it's like a whole other thing. And Bayern Munich has time to focus on just this because they're not going to win the league.
And they're playing at their home
Yeah,
next.
and they're playing at their home, so I get it, right? The whole level, but I do still think Arsenal should have taken that game. And that's coming from me that I don't like Arsenal. Um,
Yeah, you're just and fair.
I am fair.
Um,
But all in
I
all,
think
but a fair, equal game, right? Um, just Arsenal kind of lost it for themselves, even on their first goal. That between Raya and Gabriel, like they came too close, so it was like a little hesitation on his part. He passed it, missed it, counter, a quick counter, and
mhm.
then the same thing for the second one, right? Saliba reaching in after Sane went through the, bunch of players, and you reach in penalty.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Arsenal doesn't have over Bayern Munich is the experience and the mentality. It's like they still
Well,
get super hot headed and still kind of don't think
I mean,
before
yeah,
doing
the
stuff.
stupid thing at the end, Saka.
Yeah.
Um, that's not a penalty
So okay,
ever,
so explain it.
ever.
So he was going 1-on-1. He broke
He
off. Was
he
going
he
one on
he.
one.
He broke left. Normally, a goalie would dive in and you could kind of leave your foot trailing and kind of call a penalty. But
Yeah.
Emmanuel Neuer kind of like pump faked forward, step back, and then Saka's leading leg kind of smashed into his shin. And I get it, right? Whatever. You're trying to win the game, sell what you can sell, sure.
Mm.
Don't get up and get pissed off that they didn't call a penalty when it didn't work for you, man. It wasn't. It was dumb. And I genuinely thought he could have just gone left and slotted it in. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm
The
saying.
game.
That's what I'm saying. Little missed opportunities that they could have taken
Yeah. So
advantage of.
now they have a hard road going to their house. It's a tougher game. And you're right. Bayern has time to kind of sharpen up.
I mean,
I don't know who
they
they're.
did
I
get a
don't know.
couple injuries right now. I hope it's nothing like crazy.
So I don't know
But
who they're the defenders that played for Bayern were Dyer and
Delict.
Delict, but their starting lineup. I'm looking over here, looking at their. I don't really recognize these names except Kim and Jay is the only one. Oh, Opacano.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
he
but I
likes
don't know. But not really. I don't really know like their actual starting lineup, like what the actual defenders are
back.
supposed.
Neither do I. I'd be lying if I said I've watched Bundesliga this year. I've only
I
watched
mean,
Bayern Leverkusen. I would
I
catch them
mean,
here and there, but
but
like,
here's the thing though. Like I definitely know that Dyer's not the starter, and
yeah, for sure.
I felt like that was going to be a weakness for them, and it was. But they still managed to hold them to a tie at their home. And kind of Bayern blew it too because they were leading for most of the game.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it seemed like they couldn't find a connection up top, right? It was kind of boot it up like Harry Kane, hold it for a little bit and see who
Mm,
can follow. But if you saw even the tracking the kilometers, Gnabry and Sane ran like crazy. So
yeah. Well, we'll
um,
see. We'll see. Well, it was a really good game though, and yeah, the next leg is going to be crazy, which is next week. So really excited to see that. Before we get into uh, the next game was Real Madrid and Man City. Um, there was a terrorist warning for the games coming ahead. Now the games aren't done because tomorrow the rest of the next four teams play, which is Atletico. Who'd you say? Atletico,
Borussia,
Borussia, and then I have it here. Yeah,
PSG, Barcelona.
right. So not to get too much into it, but that is if something bad were to happen, that would really the world would get insanely up in arms for
I mean,
something
it'd be
to happen.
the world versus whatever terrorist group decided. Because, like,
I think ISIS said that, but
Jesus,
I don't know how bad everything is right now. With the Middle East is not an awesome place right now, so hopefully it wasn't too scary to go to these games today. I'm sure they
hmm
were packed to the rim with security and a bunch of shit for tomorrow too. So nothing happened today, knock on wood, and hopefully nothing happens tomorrow. But they're not only are they playing against the immense pressure of that, I wonder if that ever gets to your head as a player. Do you think you would think about those things?
I mean, maybe if you're having your family come through, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Maybe you
yeah,
tell your family sit this one out. Unfortunately,
mm, yeah,
um, that's kind of a shitty situation, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a it's a goddamn game. Like,
yeah. And they're like threatening it.
yeah, like it's a game. Like, what do you like? I don't know.
I don't
There's
know what
nothing
the
more to that.
purpose. I don't know what the purpose was to threaten those games, but I guess it's because a lot
The
of people
most
go and
views
yeah,
and
and the
all that
most
stuff.
views.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I
even
mean,
even ISIS tries to get the clicks on the internet.
yeah.
So, but nothing happens, so not gonna win, and let's hope that it stays that way. Because I really don't know why. It was like out of left field the other day. We're like, yeah, there's these threats being made to the Champions League games. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, moving to the next game, it was a fucking really close game. That I think in terms of like the
I
better
preferred watching that game. I told you
yeah.
from the beginning. I was just like, that looks way more exciting.
So we had a
Um,
multicast on. I went over to your house and we had a multicast, and so we were literally watching two games at once. But the Real Madrid and Man City game was like just nonstop. It ended in 3-3. On Real Madrid's side, Ruben Diaz scored an own goal. Rodrigo scored at the 14th, and Valverde scored at the 79th. And for Man City, we had fucking two screamers. By Phil Foden at the 66 and Guardiol at 71. And then that really like smart free kick from Bernardo Silva in the second minute. So it was a really good game, but they were playing at Real Madrid. It's just never easy. It's never easy to go play away, and especially at stadiums like that that are like such.
I think this benefits Man City because,
Hmm.
like, Real Madrid's nothing to sneeze at. Um, and to play at their home, and they closed down they closed the top of the stadium, and they did that on
Right,
purpose, right?
right. To
To
make it
make it
louder.
louder, the 12th man, if you will.
Yeah.
Um, and it worked. I honestly think it worked. I think that stadium was so loud we can hear it. Um, but you didn't win. Like, that's all you needed to do,
Hmm.
and that's gonna make it harder for you to go back to Man City and play them over there. That's a tough place to win, and they're playing great. So they'll probably even. That's another thing that's kind of like scary too, like De Bruyne,
Hmm.
Ederson, Kyle Walker. They weren't in, so
Hmm.
going
That's
back to
true.
Man City, they play. What you thought was tough might be get a little bit tougher for you.
Yeah. So the thing was about this game is that there was full on attacking. Like I loved the style of play. What they were nobody was fucking parking the bus. Everybody was going full on until the last minute. Uh and that's fucking exciting football. So that was really good. I think watching Spurs play so much, like the front foot attacking football is just like where it's at.
Hmm.
And I know some people hate that because it's like where does the defense come in? But I don't know. For this game, that shit was amazing. It was amazing to watch. I think Man City has the edge for the next game because of just their run of form. They're playing at home. Probably the players that were out probably going to come back in, which were better than the players that started today, which is fucking crazy to even say that. Like Man City's bench is always stacked. So I think for the next round, I think Man City takes it. I think
I mean, who do you have going to the final for you?
right now,
Yeah, I mean, there's only
in
two, four,
terms of who
six,
played
eight. There's only eight teams.
in terms of who played today, or
Yeah, I mean,
encompassing
no,
everything.
including tomorrow's games too.
I think Man City goes to the next round. I think Arsenal goes to the next round. Who'd you say? It's Dortmund and but who plays who?
Well, there you go. So you got Man City playing Arsenal in the next round.
Is that who? Is that
That's
how
who
it
they would
actually
match
goes?
up, and then you would have. Well, I think Atletico beats Dortmund, and I think Barcelona beats PSG. So then you
Atletico
would
beats
have those two.
Dortmund.
So it's Spanish
Barcelona.
Spanish versus English English. I think it'll be Barcelona Man City at the end.
Okay,
I'm gonna go
that's your
with my
call.
girl.
You're calling
Yeah,
it now. You're calling
I'm
it
gonna
now.
agree with my girl Kate Abdo on
Barcelona. All right, Barcelona and Man City at the end. It was good. We'll watch again tomorrow for sure and see like what happens. That was a really fucking good game today. But that's pretty much it. That's just our thoughts, our quick initial post thoughts on it. And we'll talk on the next one, dude.
Copy.
Yep.